I spent 3 days copying Hailey Bieber's living room. I had $200, a tape measure, and absolutely no business trying this. And here's the thing nobody tells you when you watch those budget home makeover videos online. Most of them are lying to you. They say $200, but then they casually skip past the fact that they already own the couch. The rug was a gift, and their aunt is an interior designer who did the labor for free. I am not doing that to you today. Every single dollar I spent is on screen. Every mistake I made is in this video. And by the end, you're going to know exactly whether this is something you can actually pull off or whether it is just content. Stay with me, because the reveal at the end of this video genuinely surprised me. And I think it is going to surprise you too. If you are new here, subscribe right now and turn on notifications, because I do deep dives like this every single week, where I test the things the internet promises you and tell you the real truth. Hit that like button before we even get started if you have ever felt lied to buy a budget home makeover video, because today we are fixing that. Why I chose Hailey Bieber's living room. Let me tell you why I picked Hailey Bieber's space specifically. In early 2026, she did a full home tour that went massively viral, and her living room became the reference point for what designers are calling quiet luxury minimalism with warmth. That basically means neutral tones, clean lines, rich textures, and nothing loud or flashy. It looks expensive because of how it feels, not because of any single dramatic piece. That is what made it the perfect target for a budget experiment. If a design relies on one hero item, like a $50,000 sofa, you cannot replicate it affordably. But if the design is about atmosphere, about how things are arranged and layered, then budget becomes far less a barrier. At least, that was my theory going in. I printed out 12 reference photos and pinned them to my wall. Then I broke down every single element I could see, breaking down the celebrity look. Here is what I identified as creating the overall feeling of her space. First, a low-profile sofa in a warm cream or oatmeal tone. Second, a large area rug in a muted earthy color with visible texture, not a flat weave. Third, layered throw pillows in 2 to 3 neutral tones with at least one textured fabric. Fourth, a coffee table with a natural material surface, either with grain or stone. Fifth, warm ambient lighting, meaning no harsh overhead white light, just lamps and soft bulbs. Sixth, a few organic shapes in the decor, like a curved vase or an irregular candle holder. Seventh, green plants, specifically tall ones and small trailing ones. And eighth, intentional empty space. This one kept catching me off guard. Luxury spaces are not stuffed with things. They breather. Now I obviously could not replace my sofa. My budget was $200, and a sofa alone would swallow all of it. I was working with what I had, which was a gray sectional that absolutely did not match the aesthetic. I want to address that up front, because I know exactly what you were thinking. The challenge was whether I could transform the feeling of the room without touching the biggest furniture pieces. The budget breakdown. Let me walk you through exactly where every dollar went. And if you're watching on screen right now, the running total is going to update as I go, so you can track it in real time. Throw pillow covers came first. I bought 4 linen blend covers from a small Etsy shop for $32 total. I already had the inserts, so I did not count those. The covers came in warm white, dusty clay, and a slightly darker camel, and they immediately started pulling the room away from that cool gray palette. Next was a throw blanket. I found a chunky knit throw at a local thrift store for $6. $6. It looked almost identical to one I had seen in a home decor store for $65. I draped it over the arm of the sectional, exactly the way it appeared in the reference photos. Running total, $38. For lighting, I bought 2 Edison-style LED bulbs rated at 2,700K, which is a warm end of the color temperature scale, and a simple plug-in lamp with a matte black cylinder base. That base actually worked well against a neutral palette rather than fighting it. Total for lighting, $28. Running total, $66. The coffee table was the most creative part of the whole project. I did not buy one. I already had a wooden storage crate sitting in a corner doing nothing. I flipped it upside down, sanded the surface lightly, and applied 1 coat of tinted wood stain I found on clearance for $4. It went from looking like junk to looking intentional. A small tray on top turned it into a styled surface. Running total, $70. For the tray and decor items, I spent $22. A simple round wooden tray, 2 white taper candles, and a small amber glass bottle I repurposed as a vase. Running total, $92. Plants came next. Pot hose and a small hanging pot for $9, and a tall snake plant for $14. The snake plant went straight into a corner and immediately added that vertical, architectural energy that shows up in almost every luxury living room you have ever admired. Total for plants, $23. Running total, $115. The rug was my biggest spend and my biggest gamble. I found a jute and cotton blend, 5 by 7 feet, marked down from $90 to $55 at clearance section of a home goods store. It was not as plush as the one in Hailey's room. Jute is honestly a bit scratchy on bare feet, but for a $35 saving, I decided I would just wear socks. The texture and the warm tan color were close enough to the reference that I took it. Running total, $170. The last $20 went on cable clips and adhesive hooks to manage the lamp cord and clear up some visual clutter along the walls. I kept the final $10 as a buffer in case anything went wrong. Nothing did. Final total, $190. The process and the mistakes. Here is what nobody shows you in these videos. The in-between stage looks absolutely terrible, and I want you to see that. The B-roll you are watching right now is from day 2, when the rug was down but the coffee table crate was not finished. The new pillows were on, but the old blanket was still draped over the arm, and there was sandpaper on the floor. It looked like a garage sale had taken over my living room. I genuinely almost quit. What kept me going was a piece of advice from a professional stager I'd come across. Finish one zone completely before moving to the next. Do not try to work on the whole room at once. So I went back to the seating area, finished it completely, photographed it, and only then moved to the snake plant corner. That shift in approach changed everything. The lighting swap was the single most transformative moment of the entire project. When I switched on a new lamp in the evening and turned off the overhead light, the room just changed. That harsh, flat brightness disappeared, and everything suddenly looked softer and more considered. If you take nothing else from this video, please take this. Swap your bulbs to 2700K warm LED and add 1 lamp. It will cost you under $15, and it will do more work than almost any piece of furniture you could buy. The mistake I made was staining the crate before I had locked in its position. Once I placed it, I realized the angle caught the light in a way that showed the grain unevenly, and I had to move it twice to fix that. The lesson is simple. Place first, finish second. The honest comparison. Here is where I'm going to be straight with you about what worked and what did not, because this is a part most videos skip entirely. The color palette was surprisingly close. When I put my after photos side by side with the reference images, the warm neutrals, the contrast between the lighter throw and the slightly darker rug, and the single dark accent from the lamp all tracked really well. Where the rooms diverged was texture depth. Her rug is an incredibly plush, deep pile piece that mine simply could not replicate at $55. And her coffee table is a genuine marble top that cost somewhere around $800 new. My stain crate looked styled and intentional. It did not look like marble, and I am not going to tell you otherwise. What genuinely surprised me was how much the lighting and the plants closed the gap. The snake plant added the same kind of quiet, living energy to the corner that her room has. And the warm lamp rewrote how every other element in the space read. Those two things, which together cost under $40, did more for the overall feel than anything else I bought. What actually matters in luxury home design? After this project and the 2 weeks of research that went into it, here's the honest truth about what makes a space look expensive. It is not the price of any single item. It is a color palette limited to 3 tones maximum. It is warm lighting, because warm always beats cool in a living space. It is at least one organic natural texture, whether that is wood, jute, linen, or plant. It is negative space, the deliberate decision to leave surfaces and corners empty. And it is scale, specifically making sure your rug is large enough that your furniture actually sits on it rather than floating off the edges. Every single one of those things costs almost nothing to get right once you understand them. And almost every piece of budget home content out there ignores all of them in favor of showing you a product haul. The final reveal reaction. When I finished and stepped back, my honest reaction was that it did not look like Hailey Bieber's living room. I want to say that clearly. It looked like a well-designed room that shared the same visual language, the same calm, the same warmth, the same sense of things being placed with intention. Someone walking in would not say, "This looks like a budget room." They would just say, "It looks really nice." I showed the before and after photos to 3 people without any context, and all 3 assumed I had spent significantly more than I had. One guessed $800. That reaction is the entire point of this video. Tips if you want to try this. If you want to do this yourself, start by choosing a reference space whose design is atmosphere-driven rather than built around one expensive centerpiece. Break every visual element into 5 categories: color, texture, lighting, plants, and negative space. Before you spend a single dollar, audit what you already own. Buy the rug before anything else because it anchors every decision that follows. Swap your lighting early so you can style in the same warmth you will actually live in. And leave things out deliberately. The empty space is working just as hard as everything you put down. That is a full, honest story of how I copied a celebrity home for under $200. No borrowed furniture, no gifted products, no designer friend working for free. Just a budget, a stack of reference photos, and a lot of patience with a $4 stain job. If this video helped you or gave you even one idea you're going to use, hit the like button right now, because it genuinely helps this channel reach more people who are tired of being misled by budget content. Subscribe so you do not miss what is coming next, because I'm already planning a video where I try to recreate a designer kitchen shelf styling for under $50. And based on how this one went, I think it is going to be even more interesting. Drop a comment below telling me which celebrity home or designer space you want me to try next. I read every single one, and the next challenge always comes from you. See you in the next one.